Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little review on this beautiful baby right here, the Remarcable Marc Jacobs foundation. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it because I did get a request by one of my beautiful subscribers to do a review on this and this. And I can tell you right now that this isn't going to be a first impressions, just because I already have my mind set on my opinions on this and what I think about it. So it's going to be more of a in-depth review. So this foundation is super beautiful. The back says instant results, all day weightless finish, beyond full coverage. And let me tell you, the beyond full coverage is real. This shit is full freaking coverage. So I'm going to start off by just moisturizing my face. I know somebody asked in my last video what I used. So I use the Nivea Soft Moisturizing Cream. It's for your face, body, and hands, but I just use this bad boy on my face because I really like the way that it feels. Like I said, I'm going to be using the Nivea Men's Post Aftershave Balm, and this one is insensitive. I was kind of nervous to try it just because my skin is very, very freaking sensitive, as you can see, still suffering from this bad boy. But I feel like it just, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I don't know how it's going to react. So I just like to stay away from things, but I was surprised that this didn't really give me a reaction or anything. So I usually like to place a good amount of it on the back of my hand, and then I just like to rub it into my face. I feel like that when I moisturize with my Nivea's Soft Moisturizing Cream, and then I apply this, it works great because it's like both the same brand, so they're using the same ingredients. So it kind of works beautifully together, and it gives me a very nice finish. So now some of you guys were wondering, so how does this work when you have oily skin? So the one thing that I can say about this is that if anything, because it has glycerin, it does a really good job of keeping your foundation locked in place and not moving. So that can be a really good thing for people that have oily skin, because if you have oily skin, you know that once the 4th to 5th hour starts to come in, your skin starts to get really, really gross and oily, so everything kind of just starts wiping off. Your contour doesn't look as fresh as it and polished as it did when you first applied it, and just everything kind of looks iffy. But with this, it does a really good job of just locking everything in place and keeping it from budging, which is amazing. I do feel like this doesn't keep me matte by any means. I feel like it does kind of, I don't want to say make me more dewy, but I do feel like after a few hours in, I definitely don't see myself having like that nice matte finish. Even when I am wearing my matte foundations, I feel like it still gives me a little bit of dew. Not as bad as some other products do, but I do find that it gives me a little bit of a dewy finish. If you go in with too much, I feel like that can also cause you to kind of be more oily throughout the day. So I would say a little bit of it goes a very long way, and as you can see, this bottle is huge, so it's gonna last you a long time. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna go in with my Marc Jacobs Remarcable foundation, which is in this beautiful bottle. It looks like a little beads pill. And I just love the packaging. I think it's so luxurious and glamorous. Like, it makes me want to do my makeup every morning. See, this is my issue with this. So it's a dropper, right? But it's stuck to the lid. So now I have to work with that, which sucks. So what I like to do is I just kind of like to put it on the back of my hand. It looks so orange right now for some reason, and it's creeping me out. So I'm just going to start applying it kind of in dot forms. That's just the way that I like to apply it because I really target those areas that I want to work with. So you guys are probably asking now, how does this foundation feel? I can tell you right off the bat, it feels super lightweight. It is a very full coverage foundation. A little bit of product goes a long way. With this foundation, I will say that with one layer of foundation, I'm good to go. I feel like that if I apply more, it's not gonna look cakey or anything just because it's so lightweight, but I feel like you can just really tell that I have makeup on if I apply more than one layer. You can see the difference. Here, completely covered. Here, you can still see my redness because I obviously didn't blend it out, but that's just how good of a coverage it is, considering that I do have really, really bad redness. Another thing that I want to quickly say that you guys are probably wondering is why apply it with a brush instead of the Beauty Blender. So I feel like because the brush is so much bigger, for example, my F80 Kabuki, it's able to really distribute that product onto my skin more fairly and evenly, as opposed to the Beauty Blender where you really have to like dot it, blot it in, and it's kind of like taking everything in. It can be a little bit more harder to really blend everything out and make it look nice. This is what the foundation looks like on. So you can see it's a really big difference from me not wearing foundation. It does a good job of covering everything out. And honestly, guys, this was just with one layer, as you saw. Like, I didn't use more than 2 layers. And this is just a side tip for you guys. If you guys are suffering from really bad breakouts or just really sensitive skin and you like to wear a lot of makeup, my recommendation is finding a foundation like the Marc Jacobs foundation that is super full coverage and then only using 1 layer of it. I've noticed that ever since I started to just use 1 layer of my full coverage foundations or just any foundation and really kind of like set it in, I felt like once I do go to remove my makeup, it's so much easier and I feel like it's not too much product on my face, which can cause it to break out because I'm just using 1 light layer of it. So I'm gonna go in to this midsection right here, down my nose, set, pat, pat, pat. And then I'm going to place a little bit of it down here. And I feel like this is just the best way that this foundation stays on in place all day long when I am working with these products. And these are the products that do a best job of keeping my face looking fresh like it does when I first apply the makeup. I'm going to take my Laura Mercier translucent powder and just set everything. So if I had to give a full-on review of this foundation, like my honest thoughts, it would be, I'm going to rate it on 3 different categories. So first category, just overall product, I would give it definitely a 10. And I don't really give many products a 10, but this foundation has everything. It's lightweight, which is great, especially for people that love a full coverage foundation without looking too thick and cakey. Number 2, it is super full coverage. Just a little bit of this product goes a long way. 3, I feel like this foundation, even though it's pricey, it's $55, it's gonna last you a long time. So now rating it on a category of, is this good for oily skin people? I would give it a solid 9. Because I'm not giving it a 10 because I feel like it doesn't keep you matte throughout the day. It's not claiming to keep you matte throughout the day, but I feel like because it does have that nice powdery finish that I just mentioned, it does do a better job than other foundations to make sure that your skin doesn't get too oily throughout the day. If I had to give this an opinion based on people that have normal to dry skin, then I would probably say about an 8.5, just because if you're using this without the primer that Marc Jacobs offers, which is kind of like that hydrating one, it can be a little too drying for you if you're very dry skin, and I would definitely suggest always using a hydrating primer regardless, and then setting it with a very nice moisturizing hydrating setting spray. So those are my 3 categories that I'm rating on. So a pretty solid score above all. Now I'm going to quickly just say what my thoughts are using this hand in hand with that foundation. So if you're an oily skin person, I would say that it does do a good job, like I said very early on, of keeping everything on. It definitely does not prevent oils from shining through. I do feel like regardless of me having this on, I have to go back in with my expensive ass Laura Mercier setting powder and setting everything in just so that it does not budge, because I feel like this really does make a difference. You do not need to go out and buy this if you feel like it's too expensive. You can just buy Airspun, which you can find at Walgreens or Walmart's, or just any other setting powder that you feel like does a good job of keeping you matte if you're oily, and that will do the trick. For my people that have dry to normal skin, I would say that this guy will probably be your best friend because it's gonna make your foundation look beautiful and it's gonna make it stay on all day long. And I feel like another good thing about this foundation, another good thing about this primer is that because it's not a thick consistency based primer, it's more of a runny liquid consistency. It's not gonna make you it's not going to dry out your face. It does kind of moisturize and soothe your face. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope that it was useful to you guys somehow, somewhere along the video, and I will see you guys very soon for a brand new video. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, and I will be seeing you guys super soon.